Thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to my channel. My name is Zuzana and today we're gonna talk about Brian Laundrie. So to give you a little more context, Brian is a 23-year-old fiancé slash boyfriend of Gabby Petito, who was reported missing on September 11 after she went on a cross-country trip with Brian. On September 1st, Brian returned to his home in Florida with Gabby's van, but without Gabby. So not too long after that, Gabby's deceased body was found in Wyoming, and the cause of her death was stated to be a homicide. In the meantime, Brian's parents reported him missing to the police. However, outside of that, they haven't really done much to look for their son. Since then, the FBI has issued an arrest warrant for Brian relating to an unauthorized use of credit card, and that began an official manhunt for Brian. And as of today, he still has not been located. In this video, I would like to share a couple of things that I picked up on that may or may not be helpful in understanding who Brian is and what makes him tick. And I just wanted to quickly remind you that this video is for entertainment purposes only, and it is not intended as any type of professional opinion. So first, to understand Brian a little better, I took a closer look at his Instagram, and you can see that he's definitely very much influenced by Chuck Palahniuk, the author of Fight Club, and his writings, not only Fight Club, but other books as well. Reading is different than any other consumption of media. It takes more effort than staring at a screen half alive. It allows you to use your brain rather than melt it. And there is no author more stimulation, I believe that's a typo, more stimulating to me than Chuck. I've taken Chuck's books on 100-mile treks through the AT, and there's nothing worse than losing my page. I'm not comfortable putting some generic marker in between such powerful pages, so I decided to print my own. To me, this indicates that Brian holds Chuck's writings and ideas in very high regard, and I don't believe that he just enjoyed the books. I believe that he is assigning a virtue to the ideas presented in the pages, to the point that he feels like these powerful pages have to be protected from that generic marker because there's nothing generic about them. There's nothing regular about them. They are higher ideas. And I just wanted to say here that this isn't in any negative way directed at Chuck or his works. On the contrary, considering Brian's age, I believe that he is in the point in his life where he probably tries to define himself and find himself as an individual. Therefore, it is to be expected that he will be inspired by these ideas and concepts. But I believe that Brian's infatuation with Chuck's work and Chuck himself goes beyond the books. Chuck himself describes his work as transgressional fiction, which, quote, is a genre of literature which focuses on characters who feel confined by the norms and expectations of society and who break free of those confines in unusual or illicit ways. And based on his social media, I believe that this definitely relates to Brian, who wanted to live off the grid in most minimalistic and natural way, and possibly not wanting to be confined by the expectations and norms of the society. Now, do you remember the weird text messages that were sent to Gabby's mom from Gabby's phone, which the first one I believe came on August 27, and it said, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." And then on the 30th, no service in Yosemite. There has been conversation about these possibly being cryptic messages sent by Brian, and the Stan message possibly referencing Eminem's song called Stan, in which Stan, who is unable to make contact with his hero, Slim, records his last message to Slim while he is driving off the bridge with his girlfriend being tied up in a trunk. And the second text, no service in Yosemite, and the meaning of Yosemite, which is those who kill. Actually, Linda from It's a Crime channel does a great analysis on these hidden meanings, so please go check out her videos for more information. Now moving on to the more interesting part of the video. Going back to Chuck, Chuck's writing style is considered to be literary minimalism. And I believe there are a few minimalism concepts that are worth mentioning in relation to Brian. And the first one is what is called burnt tongue. And according to Chuck, burnt tongue is a way of saying something but saying it wrong, twisting it to slow down the reader, forcing the reader to read close, maybe read twice, not just skim along the surface of abstract images, shortcut adverbs, and cliches. And in minimalism, these cliches are to be avoided. And they also have their own name, which is received text. So in minimalism, cliches are referred to as received text. So I feel like this is quite far-fetched, and I have no idea if this in any way has any meaning. However, what I learned about Brian is that he is definitely very intentional. So is it possible that these received texts, which were received by Gabby's mom, were written purposely in a way to say something, but by saying it wrong, twisting it to slow down the reader, forcing the reader to read close and maybe read twice? I don't know, you tell me. The last concept of minimalism I wanted to bring up is called writing on the body or going on the body, which is a way of writing that gives the reader a sympathetic physical reaction that involves the reader on a gut level. And if it has been achieved by Chuck in books like Lullaby, which I'm pretty certain it was, then it makes a lot of sense that Brian could have taken it a few steps too far in terms of identifying with the book characters. In this case, the similarities between the lullaby and what happened in real life would make a lot more sense. So in the book, the characters go on a road trip, just like Gabby and Brian. There is a girl named Mona, and she has a boyfriend who is described as nihilistic environmentalist named Oyster, who also refuses to wear shoes just like Brian. At some point, Oyster is also left on the side of the highway by the others after he has assaulted a female, which is a similar theme to what happened in Moab, Utah on August 12th. So that is it for today's video, and if you did stick around till the end, honestly, thank you very much, because this has actually been my very first YouTube video, and I'm sure you can tell. So I'm sorry it's been a little rough and maybe a little all over the place. But trust me, I'm learning. Also, please share your thoughts on Brian's laundry case in the comments below, and also let me know what cases you would like me to cover next. If you do enjoy true crime content, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next.